Who's going to drive it?
Why, are you available?
Are you available?
Oh, yeah.
We'll see what we can do to make that happen.
Have Hamlet will travel, right?
Yep, have helmet, we'll travel.
I think this car is going to be pretty sporty. Looking forward to it.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another great edition of the Garage Shop Insider Podcast. I'm Tim Packman. This show is very, very important because we are getting ready to go to Arkansas. Aaron Brown is with us, and all the hard work, all the thoughts, and all the testing and everything we've done is now coming to play. Are you ready? Nervous? Excited? What?
I'm not really anything. I mean, I'm really proud of all these guys.
You should be.
Over the last year, I mean, they built a Dodge Daytona from scratch. Mm-hmm. And in 4 months, they built a Talladega from scratch.
Beautiful.
So, we fired the Talladega for the first time today, and Mr. Yates and Jeff Clark and all those guys, you could hear the health in those tailpipes.
Sure. I called it throaty.
Yes.
It was quite throaty. I was like, and the look on everyone's face when we did fire it up was amazing because it was like, that was what I was looking at, and the pride, and they were all like very good because, it fired up, and that was good there.
And that's where the thing is. I mean, we have a really long history with Roush Yates engines, from the 39, and, we've had a couple of iterations of Roush Yates engines and that, and then the Cup car that we ran last year in the mile and a half in Bonneville, and now to culminate all that and put that in the Talladega and then have the Penske Dodge. I think it's going to be good times.
Who's driving them?
My friend Vance. Mm-hmm. Him and I am getting him settled into.
From Labwares, we've had
from
him on
Labware,
before.
Yep. Him and I, we're going to get these things dialed in, and we're going to go to Arkansas, and that's kind of our big test for Bonneville. Mm-hmm. And we'll see where chips fall when we go to Bonneville. Right now I feel like we're pretty conservative on setup stuff, and it's really hard to do that because we all want to go as fast as we can go. But we really need to focus on the handling for Bonneville, and Arkansas is really good for that because the track's so bumpy. We could go to Arkansas in hunt and kill mode, but then it's complete opposite. You can't run the same setup at Arkansas on these cars that you do at Bonneville. Mm-hmm. So we're really going to work real hard, for those 3 days on our Bonneville Big Spring stuff and shock packages and gears and transmissions, and we're going to be throwing a lot of wrenches at them, and we'll see where we end up.
Where exactly is this in Arkansas?
Blytheville.
Okay.
It's an old bomber base. I think the runway's 15,000 feet. We were the first car there. Steve Stroop from the ECTA,
which stands for East Coast
Timing Association. Right? They asked us to run a mile and a half there in the Cup car just to try it out. And, Drew was with us, and he's like, what are you going to do? I said, well, send it. He goes, well, you don't have enough room to stop. I said, well, put a nose on it. I guess. I don't know.
Hey, you build everything. What's another nose, right?
Yeah, we made 2 back-to-back passes there. And, we spent a lot of time talking to Steve. And could you run a mile and a half there? Yeah, I think you could. But it would have to be, every run would have to be like a perfect run, because we went through the traps, 230 couple, in a mile and a half just screwing around in the Cup car. And the end of that runway came up really quick.
Brakes, parachute.
Both parachutes.
Perfect.
Yeah, scrubbing speed off side to side, so Steve decided he was going to run. They backed it up to a mile and a quarter, which I think this year they're calling it 2 kilometer, which is good because there's a lot of speed past the mile. That mile quarter right there on that track, and it's bumpy, it's fun. You get to wheel it, jump sideways a little bit, and
Sounds
it's
like
a good
fun.
time. It is. I enjoy it.
Yeah. What's the biggest thing you're hoping to get out of going to Arkansas? What are your goals that you? I mean, the speed is one thing, but as far as there's got to be other goals.
Speed's really not the goal. I think our big goal for Arkansas is to get these cars to go over the bumps and stay firmly planted to the ground. First time we ran the Cup car there, it was like a porpoise. But we worked through that. I think the first time we ever unloaded that car, it only went 203 in a mile.
Only?
That was it. And I mean, the truck's 208.
Yeah.
You know,
No, still, but you're talking 200 miles an hour. You know, in your terms, it's like, yeah, let's go to the store. Other people are like, wow, 200 miles an hour.
well, you know, and the car we had a hard time keeping it on the ground and low to the ground and on the ground. And through, I don't know, we ran 4 or 5 events up there, pretty much suspension changes, and we learned a lot on, some gear ratio packages and stuff. We're always, Fuzzy from Gear FX is always working on that stuff for us, but the suspension was the big thing. I mean, the last time we ran that car there back in the fall this year was we went 225 in a mile. Yeah. And most of that was suspension changes, same motor.
So when you say is it because the air gets underneath it? Is it the aerodynamics that's keeping it, not keeping it?
Well,
is it just
there's a happy medium between the splitter on the ground or knocking the concrete off the ground.
Yeah.
So, getting that splitter right on the ground and getting the whole car as low as you can. But, it comes with a price on those bump stops. It jumps up and down and bounces around. And, trying to get the whole car settled is a difficult thing to do at 230 miles an hour because tires don't have grip when they're in the air. None. There's the least amount of grip in the air, I can tell you that.
Tire wear is none.
Right, yeah. So, and there's grass on the runway sometimes, and it's dirty, but, there's just like no grip to begin with, and then you run over a big giant grass
weed patch.
And
that just upsets the car to the...
Yeah.
And then it gets it bouncing that you were talking about. Okay.
And we found a really good package out there, over the last 2 years of running the Cup car out there that was really comfortable. And, Jennifer Jo Cobb jumped in my car, and she went 223.
Nice.
She ran on one of our old records that was 211 and, set a record. Jennifer set a record at 223 in that car, on her second pass ever in it. So it says a lot what these guys have accomplished and got a car that's really easy to drive.
So with that said, we're going to Arkansas this weekend. What do you get the excitement from everybody? Because like all the hard labor is now. We're going to Arkansas, so give you a sense of the excitement on everybody getting ready to go?
I think the biggest excitement is when we're going to put that trailer door up at the end of the weekend and went 230 plus.
Nice.
I think it's not so much the excitement of going and doing it. It's
anticipation of that? Okay.
It's more anxiety.
Okay.
You want to make sure everything's right. These cars were completely handmade, and anything could happen. Mm-hmm. So, we just got to stay on top of our game and really focus on what we're going to be doing at Bonneville. And that's why, we're going off in a little bit of different direction with this big spring setup. Mm-hmm. So we'll see. We'll kind of see how that goes. And then, the Daytona presents a whole new set of problems. Unlike the Talladega here, mm-hmm. There's no wing on the back. It's very sleek.
Spoiler.
Right, it's a little tiny spoiler.
Donnie Ellison was here a couple weeks ago, and he pointed out that, how's that spoiler goes. That's it. That's all there is.
So, and then the Daytona has that big giant wing sticking up there. It is tunable. We have some wind tunnel data. But what rear springs do you put in the back of that car where the Cup car, runs like a super lightweight spring? And, this car obviously doesn't have the wing or the rear downforce as a Daytona. Mm-hmm. So trying to pick and choose some spring rates for the Daytona is a little different because we're a little off on our front downforce on the Daytona, and this one's never been in a wind tunnel, so we'll figure that out on the asphalt dyno.
Perfect, nice.
Right.
Also, asphalt dyno, is that what you call it?
The asphalt dyno.
There you go.
Send it.
Go.
So there's a lot. There's a lot on my mind as far as getting these cars set up that'd be comfortable for Vance to drive when we get to Bonneville. I know he's a rookie driver, and he's really looking forward. He's really looking forward to going to Bonneville and getting licensed up on the short course and make some passes on the long course. So, I kind of want to make sure that we set up a really conservative car that we can both drive. And, once he's comfortable and we sort some stuff out and I'm comfortable, then we'll sneak into some stuff that we know is, super squirrel stuff. But
super squirrel.
Right, yeah. We could go in hunt and kill mode.
Right.
My prediction is whatever we run at Arkansas this week, when we come back in October in hunt and kill mode with the concrete stuff, we'll probably be 10 miles an hour faster or more than what we run this time.
As a collective group and the leader of this group, when you lower the trailer doors and these cars roll out, how much pride are you going to have knowing that everybody here had a fingerprint in it in some way, shape, or form?
I think a lot, because this is such a broad group with so many different people doing so many different things, and each and every one of them's put their heart and soul into this. I mean, last year when we got locked down for COVID, we had 4 campers in the parking lot. The guys didn't want to leave the shop because we were building the Daytona.
Right.
You know, they made like look like
Compound.
Cowboys and Indians
Cowboys,
outside.
Yeah, they came to visit and didn't
So,
leave.
you know, going back to memories like that, and, you know, with Vance and Vaughn and Kenny flying down from Delaware, you know, every month, and just the general excitement, you know, talking time's over. It's time to see what we got
Mash
here.
the gas, yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. And wherever we end up or whatever happens, I'm not going to be any less proud of these guys. I might be a little disappointed in myself because we forgot to do this or forgot to do that, but I'll never blame any of these guys for doing anything wrong, because they've put so much heart and soul into what we're doing right now.
And, you know, these 2 cars attract a lot of attention. They have for the past 2 months. Now they can actually, people are going to be able to see them, you know, making passes.
And that's why we built these cars. They're not trailer queens. They're not museum pieces. I mean, we built them to race them.
Right.
And we're going to run the hell out of them. I mean, we're going to find out which one of these cars was the iconic Aero War King.
Perfect. You're looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Everyone out there is looking forward to it. So let's go to Arkansas and kick some ass. What do you say?
I think so.
Let's do it, my friend.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I mean, if you really think about it, back in the day when they were, building stock cars and so forth, they weren't trying to make them be the most beautiful thing in the world, because, they were going to go bang them up. But the work that Aaron and the garage shop team have done on putting that Daytona together, it's just amazing. I mean, it's a work of art, and it's beautiful, and it's you can't stop looking at it. Very crisp, it's just awesome sound.
Well, we put the 180-degree pipe, X pipes on it too. So when it's 10,000, it'll sound like an Indy car.
Yeah.
This sounds cool.
Yeah.
It doesn't do anything, I don't think. It's supposed to get a little more on the top end, a little bit more RPM stuff.
Oh, it sounds awesome. It sounds better than I thought it would.
What did you think it was going to sound like, the Yanko?
I was hoping it would sound at least that good.
And Vance is down from Delaware. It's the first time you have seen the Ford Talladega with a motor in it and pretty much ready to go. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, my first thought is, I can't believe that it's done. I mean, when I saw it, and just weeks ago, there was a whole lot left to do.
Right.
And now, it's really come together, and it's beautiful. I mean, it's just amazing workmanship.
Well, let's check out that new power plant.
All right.
Roush Yates engines there. So check that out. What do you think when you see that thing in there, and how powerful? We were here when they started it, and you could, everybody face in this place was just beaming with pride.
I'm sure, absolutely. That's always a major milestone. First time you have fire in the hole.
That's
absolutely.
Good. So
it's beautiful.
And you, when we're getting ready to go to Arkansas.
Yes, we are.
You are going to pilot this car.
I am going to get to drive this car. I drove the Cup car one time, and with the same engine in it, so it'll be somewhat similar to that. But yeah, I'm very excited. Very excited to be able to.
You're excited to do it. Is there any apprehension whatsoever at all?
No.
Really?
No.
Okay. This car has no bump stops, no traction control. It's just pure race car.
That's right.
Okay.
I had a little apprehension when I first time got in the Cup car.
Right.
And the reason I did was because I drove the Cup car to the starting line and then ran it down, and that was it. Well, in driving up to the start, I put my foot on the brakes and nothing happened. And I'm thinking, the pedal pedals really hard.
Yeah.
It's not slowing down like I think it's going to have to slow down
Right.
because I'm going to be going
Yeah.
220 miles an hour. And then I thought about it as I drove. Oh, wait a minute. This is a race car. It's the opposite of a street car. The brakes have to warm up, and then they'll be okay. Yeah. But, I mean, that was a little apprehension for a minute.
I just wondered because, I give you guys credit. They're going to get in here and everything. As you look at this car and you've seen the cockpit and everything, have you sat in it?
I have not.
Okay. So
I have not.
we're going to do that in Arkansas?
Yes.
First time. Good.
Yep,
Very good.
first time.
Okay. And also, in addition to driving this beautiful Ford Talladega, you're also driving the Bobby Isaac car.
I
the
am.
Dodge Daytona.
Yes, that's right.
So you get to drive both of these?
Absolutely, yeah. Because Aaron and I are going to switch
Right.
back and forth and get them dialed in. So it's just good to have both of our opinions about what do we think we need to do to tweak it.
Right.
They make adjustments to the suspension and things like that. So
So what are your goals in Arkansas? I know you have two goals. There's one business and one not.
well, the one is have a good time.
Of course.
Of course,
Yeah.
that's a really important attribute or aspect of the trip. We want to shake the cars down first of all, so you don't want to get in it and just go balls to the wall, immediately. So we'll make a few runs, make sure that the things are working as they should be working, and then hope to leave there by putting some big numbers on it.
A couple record stickers on the car would be nice.
Absolutely.
That's right. So as we come over here, we look over the Daytona, and you are also going to pilot this beautiful machine.
Yes.
From a historical standpoint, as a person that grew up in racing and made my living in it, and still do, I think it's so awesome. These two cars are going to be there together, and you get to drive them both.
I know.
That has to be something that you have to really.
Magic.
Yeah.
It is really going to be thinking about the Aero Wars, the
Right.
idea that, well, how are they going to feel different? It'll be very interesting to see. I mean, obviously this car with the wing on the back is a iconic car, but it's going to behave different than this car will. So
Have you sat in this one yet?
Yes, I have.
Okay, you have. Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
Yep.
And the feel, and we were talking about the gauges and everything, and I asked why the tachometer was put at an angle, and you said because if everything's running straight up and down, that's good.
Exactly.
So you're looking for that.
Yeah, that's
straight
right.
up and
Yeah,
down.
yeah, you don't have time when you're doing this type of racing to look at the gauges,
Right.
and the one you really have to watch is the tach,
Right.
When you don't want to over rev it.
So you also have to not re-license yourself a little bit with some runs, because when you do that, the goal of Arkansas is we're looking down the road to
Bonneville.
Bonneville. Now that's the big 5-mile Big Daddy run there.
Absolutely. And so if we can do well in these cars at Arkansas, we might be able to then use the numbers to be able to avoid having to do the short course qualification at Bonneville, which would save a lot of time.
So the confidence you're going to get out of running both of them in Arkansas is definitely going to carry over to Bonneville.
It will. So because it's a sanctioned event at Arkansas with the ECTA, we'll have the actual data that we can use to talk to the SCTA. But we'll also be making some passes before Bonneville at the spaceport, so do some longer runs.
Do you remember your emotions the first time you got in, and besides the brakes not being there, did you remember when you were like ready to go, like there's no turning bigger there?
Yeah.
You can't go get out. I'm out.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct. Absolutely. And the thing that I didn't want to do was stall it.
Uh-huh.
Because you still want to come off fairly easy.
Right.
It's not a drag race,
Right.
but you also don't want to stall it, So, and you don't want to just go up and wheel spinning and all that kind of stuff. So
How often do you think about this as we get closer? I mean, Arkansas, it's right here.
I think about it often.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think about it often.
I'm more excited.
Oh, I'm excited.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
And this all goes back from you were younger. You drove your car, and you had two goals. What were they?
Well, I wanted to make sure I got it airborne.
Yep.
And over 100 miles an hour.
Well, guess what?
Every day.
I know. I want you to do one thing. I want you to go over 100 miles an hour, but none of us want to see you go airborne. Okay?
I don't intend to.
That's perfect.
That would not be so cool.
Well, good. Well, we're looking forward to it. And
Yeah.
this whole shop has just been buzzing, and everyone's getting ready
They've been cranking. I mean,
For
it's just amazing. They've been
for
cranking.
Arkansas, and everyone's that. And you can notice when you come and you can see everyone's like focused on what's going on here.
And it's all about attention to details. And so, you can come and you can say, oh, it has an engine in it now.
Right.
But that's not it.
Yeah.
There's a 100 other things that
Yes.
that have happened in the last few weeks.
Right.
To get the car ready to run.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to see what you're going to do when you take both these down the track.
Thank you.
All right. Good luck. Let's have fun with that.
We will.
There's Vance, your
We
driver
will.
extraordinaire of both these cars.